Welcome into the #1 Group of Five football podcast in the world. This is the Group of Five guys. If you're new here, we are the voice of the Group of Five football programs, giving them the hype and recognition that they deserve. You can help us on this mission by hitting like, hitting share, commenting, subscribing, or giving us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. You can also help us out financially by going to groupof5guys.com. Get you some Group of Five guys swag. Shorter show for you tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the new look AAC schedule release, a little bit of transfer portal news. We had the Super Bowl, and most teams are in mat drills or in spring ball, so we may give you a couple stories on our mat drill experience. Here we go, boys.
I don't have any tooth. I'll admit it. I will brag. Those players did not just go and whip that ass for us to be like, oh, good game. No, we whipped your ass. We took $800,000. Now we're going to party with it.
Yeah, who cares if you're in the Power 5 conference if you don't win it, ever? Or you don't beat any of the teams in it? Like, what's the point of that? Wouldn't you rather win the conference and say, like, hey, my team is good, than lose the conference and say, well, our conference is good?
Look, they don't call me Tip for nothing. And my tip is, look out for the Group of Five this season. They've been taking it to the Power 5 year after year.
The only quarterbacks that ever get any love are from the Power 5. I could easily list off the top Group of 5 quarterbacks I would rather have than those guys. I would be willing to bet that at least one of them is going to be in the running for the Heisman this year.
Down the middle, James, the lateral to the corner of the end zone. Can you believe that?
Gentlemen, the new look American Athletic Conference schedule was released today, yesterday, if you're listening to this show on Wednesday. What are we thinking, guys? I'll tell you, I'm going to start off the bat. You got UTSA at Tulane, potentially on a Friday night, final week of the regular season. Some monster games. Bunch of new teams coming in, but what are we thinking? You guys take a look at the schedule. You see what are you intrigued by?
Well, I'll go here first, and there's so many games that we could talk about and get to, but new team in the American, Charlotte, is going to be at SMU September 30th, and SMU, everybody's saying they're crushing the transfer portal. They're going to have all these new players. They are literally handing out bundles of cash to these kids coming in, allegedly. But I think that is going to be a great matchup. New team in the American versus a mainstay in the American. That is on the rise, so that's a game I'm looking forward to. Middle, not really middle of the season, but week 4, I think that is? 3?
You know, Charlotte, they're hitting the transfer portal pretty hard too, and they're going to need it. They do not have an easy schedule.
No, they don't.
I mean, I think out of conference they're at. I think they open up at versus South Carolina State. I think it is, which should be a dub. But then, I mean, I think they're at Florida, and then this American Conference is. I mean, you just took the best of the Conference USA, and you still got most of the best of the American from the last couple of years. It's a tough one, man.
We want to talk about tough schedules. Look at Tulane's schedule. They open up with South Alabama, who had double-digit wins last season, and then Southern Miss, who's on the rise. UAB is always a tough team to play against, and we already mentioned that last game against UTSA. I mean, that game right there could, is massive implications for the conference championship.
You know, you look at some of these, and you look at UTSA. They're getting I think they're home. No, they should be on the road at Houston to open up, which that'll be a Power 5 potential win for them. Then they go to Tennessee a couple weeks later.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
So, UTSA is a team that, if they are able to run the table, if they handle business, that's a team that'll have 2 road Power 5 wins on the resume. Look out now. And regardless of what happens the rest of the way with the season, Tennessee at that point is probably going to be a top 10, in that range team. So UTSA got a lot coming back. Interested to see how they do. And then, they're at Tulane. They got ECU is going to be tough. I don't know, man. This is a tough schedule for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, and the American lost a handful of teams, but I just the more I'm looking at these schedules here, you have a lot of intriguing matchups. I think the American is going to be still one of the top Group of 5 conferences, even though they lost a couple of their top dogs, but they've definitely picked up some really good teams, and like the Charlotte East Carolina matchup. Now you got a little rivalry in the Carolina. I just think they've done a good job bringing in good teams for specific reasons. So I'm excited to see these new matchups.
Yeah, and obviously we'll see how the season shakes out. But I'm looking right now. I'm looking to see which of these schedules are, who's got a front-loaded schedule, who's got a chance to start out really hot, and then has maybe some of their big games late.
You see where Tulsa's hosting Oklahoma?
I do see that now.
I mean, what a home field game for them. I mean, I know that they did go to Tulane. Didn't Oklahoma go to Tulane?
Well, they were gonna.
They're supposed to. They're supposed
Uh-huh.
to. And here we go. Tulsa.
Yeah. Well, interested to see too. Looking at the new additions, especially. I mean, I hate to single out Florida Atlantic, but they're probably the one team. Both the Florida schools now. South Florida's been in the conference, but see if they can step up with their attendance. Yeah. I mean, FAU has done okay. I mean, that's a tough market, but now you look at their schedule. Can they win? I mean, they're at Clemson, they're at Illinois, but can they win those first two out of conference and get some home wins? You got to get that early, otherwise, you don't want to start 0-4, 1-4, and then your season, according to your students and your local fans, is going to be a waste.
Yeah, and you mentioned Tulane having a tough schedule. September 16th, going to Hattiesburg, playing at Southern Miss. That's no pushover. We've talked about it before that we think Southern Miss is on the rise. They got some good players coming back, and they had a pretty good season last year with a couple big wins. So, I mean, they got a tall task ahead of them, especially with no Tajay Spears.
In Tulane's, I guess, in support of Tulane, they've got, other than that Southern Miss game, I mean, they've got their toughest games at home. So South Alabama, they host Ole Miss week 2, they host UAB, and then they host UTSA in the final week. So good for them this year to get those games at home, but then next year, of course, those will be on the road. So good luck there. But yeah, Jeff, you mentioned the transfer portal a little bit with SMU and with Charlotte. SMU, I know Rhett Lashley's bringing over a bunch of guys that he had recruited and coached at Miami. So those are some names that you may have heard of. But what else are you seeing transfer portal wise?
So according to 24/7 Sports, they're kind of one of the main websites that I kind of look at, and they've done a pretty good job at keeping up with it. 2 4-star recruits coming in, 16 3-star recruits. Some of these guys got playing experience, some of them don't. They have a lot of guys that are in the portal that are leaving SMU, but just looking at some of the pieces that are coming in, you got a kid from Liberty, a safety coming in. You mentioned the guys from Miami. You got 2 guys coming in from Liberty, actually. Jalen Davis Robinson, a corner from LSU, coming in. I don't know how much experience he has. That receiver Romello Brinson from Miami, Fresno State kid. So they just got a lot of, and then Sprouse, we talked about this off air, Jalen Knighton, running back from Miami. I mean, a lot of pieces from some Power 5, some Group of 5, but everything that I've kind of read on the internet just being talked about is they're going after guys. They're being aggressive with their NIL stuff and really trying to get some big name, top athlete. According to the stars, I don't put too much stock in those ratings, but on paper, they're bringing in a lot of guys. They're ranked number 1 in the American Conference, according to 24/7 Sports. So,
well, SMU is the original
NIL
program. I mean, they've been doing this since 1980.
Pony
So,
Express, baby.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, I mean, and it's again, I think Jesse talked about this on our last podcast. These Texas schools, no matter who it is,
Yeah.
they got money. Somebody's got money flowing in. So look out for them. I mean, we talked about Charlotte. Some of the Florida schools are destination type schools. Kids might be wanting to come home. So all these, I mean, every one of the schools in the American has something to sell.
Yeah.
As far as the transfer portal goes. But real quick, let's talk about Prize Picks. You guys know we've talked about it before. We've got a promotional code, GOFG. I haven't even looked if you can play XFL entries, but maybe. But like I've been talking about for a long time, NBA is the way to go on that thing. I've got a couple second half of the season plays.
There you go.
I got Luka at a half. They had a special. I got Luka Doncic at a half, 1/2 game over a 30-point game. Like he's not going to go for 30 one time the rest of the year. Yeah, so I got a couple entries with him. But Prize Picks, use our code GOFG, and they'll match you up to a $100 deposit. So speaking of transfer portal, I remember us talking about this last year. How many of these guys are, quote, in the portal just so they don't have to go through mat drills and or spring ball, which, can potentially be, the most demanding, physically and mentally parts of the year.
You better be hella confident you're getting picked up if that's why you're dropping out. But I will say, yes, it's probably the hardest thing throughout the whole year you do. The narrative that's from the average fan or people that don't follow college football, I would say that they think that college football lasts 6 months and throughout the fall. When in reality, it's about 365 days out of the year. And throughout the 365 days, for me personally, the hardest week of a college football player's life, it's not in the dead of heat in the summer running 110s or 300s. It's not during fall football camp doing 2-a-days and hitting the same guy over and over again and dying. It's not middle of the season. It's the hardest thing is that first week of mat drills, waking up at 4:30 in the morning with all your companions, entering that gym where your nose hairs are singed from the hot air coming off of that court, off the heaters, and seeing the misery, the dread, the worry in everybody's eyes, knowing that the next 2 hours are going to be completely hell. And one of those days, even though you may have the best mat drill of your life, somebody is going to screw up and cause you to have an extra mat drill that week. Hands down, mat drills are the worst/best thing, in my opinion, for a football team. Reason I say best for you is because I think, Sprouse, you're about to ask the question, are they even worth it? In my opinion, I don't think that it is going to allow Jeff to throw a prettier 50-yard post. I don't think it's going to have you pull around any better and block the outside tackle. I don't think it's going to have Tipton drink that extra beer in the third quarter cheering on their team. But what it will do, and what I'm a fan of, and I hope that they keep doing it, is it builds your team camaraderie. When you're going to war with your brothers and then they become your friends, I think that's what mat drills do. And you see who's going to quit on you, who's not going to quit on you. So I hated mat drills, but I'm glad to see that they're still going on even in 2023.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and to me, I think we talked about it when we had Cons and DeJulio, the Air Force guys, on here. The harder the thing that you go through, the closer you're going to be with those guys when you come out. So mat drills are the hardest thing. And I'll tell you this, the gym, you mentioned it being hot in the gym. Remember our last year when we did them outside and it was cold? I'd be in that. I'd rather do it in a sauna than do it in that cold
I'm
weather.
surprised to hear you say that. I figured you would like it outside for some reason. I know you're warm weather. I know you like warm weather. Man, let me tell you, Jeff, Sprouse, I guess you were there too. There was one year, I think like 2010. I think right when you got there, Jeff, it was some of the hardest damn mat drills. I'm talking about the way they had these gyms. You had three courts and they did 15 minutes each court, and one of those 15 minutes were the granddaddy of them all, the mats.
The mats. Yep.
And for the people that are listening out there thinking, what's so bad about a mat drill? It is so psychological. It's the closest thing that we're going to get to going to a boot camp in my
Opinion.
Thank you. Lost train of thought there. In my opinion, it's the closest thing to get to a boot camp because it's so mental. But yet, I mean, I was talking to Josh Walker today because we were just shooting the stuff about mat drills. I was like, I don't think there was 1 year that I did not throw up that first week.
I was gonna say I vividly remember that almost every room there was always be trash cans.
Trash cans.
Yep. And I'd always hear old Jesse Grisham just letting the demons out. But they don't really do it anymore. They do it outside. It's not even early in the morning. Well, I shouldn't say all the schools. Our alma mater does it outside. It's not even at like 6 a.m. It's.
Are you sure about that, Joe? I swear I saw on social media they were going at it.
You know, here's what I'll say is I know
could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure
a lot of the strength coaches are anti mat drill folks because it's not. You're not getting faster. There's a risk of injury. There's whatever. But like you said, it's mental, man. It's building mental toughness. I mean, getting up early is whatever. But dude,
can we just paint the picture here?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Just paint the picture here. It's Sunday night. You're sitting at your apartment, but it's like 9 o'clock, and you're like, I gotta get to bed. You go lay in bed. You because you got to be up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Are you gonna go to sleep when you lay down? No, you're gonna sit there thinking like this, just putting your fingers together, thinking, "Oh my gosh, what are they going to do tomorrow? Tomorrow's going to suck. You don't fall asleep till about 11:30. Alarm goes off at 4 a.m. They do something crazy where it's like mat drills start at like 5:24, not 5:25, not 5:23, 5:24, because they just want somebody to walk in just a second late. When you walk into the gym, I already talked about it. It's going to be hot. It's going to be burning your nose. You're going to see all your people there, all your friends. Everybody's dreading it. And then you do the freaking warm-ups. The warm-ups are going to just go ahead and get you all nice and tired. But the worst and most embarrassing part and mental part is, even though you think you had a good day on mat drills, they're going to try you and they're going to give you a red jersey. Red jersey means the last mat drill you failed. Even though you may not have failed, you failed. If you have a red jersey on, they are about to pick on you the whole day. You're going to run the perfect mat drill and they're going to send you back.
Mm-hmm.
You do this for what, Sprouse? It's like an hour and a half, and you probably burn 1,500 calories, and you compete. You're done by 6 a.m. and people are thinking, well, you're done for the day. No, sir.
Now it's time for weights.
now you get to go to 2 or 3, 4 classes, and then you get to go do weights, and they're going to put 405 pounds on your back, and you hope your legs aren't jelly because you better get that thing up.
Yeah.
So mat drills it's hard, but I do think again it is needed in my opinion. Because I think me and Jeff grew closer because of mat drills.
Yeah, and
I made that all that up. Me and Jeff were in totally two different groups.
Yeah. Well, and let me just, for those of you that never got to really experience mat drills, so we talked about it a little bit. So essentially, this is the way we did it at middle. Like Jesse said, there'd be 3, if we were inside, it would be like 3 auxiliary gyms, and each gym had, one gym had your O-line and D-line coaches. The next gym had your running back and linebacker coach, whatever. And then, so it would be set up like periods. So one of them was the mats, and that was, they blow the whistle, you freaking dive out there on the mat, and then you're just up, down. So they point one way, you roll on your back one way. Then you remember that stupid little figure 8 little spin thing, and nobody knows how to do it. and then you do a couple rounds, they send you, and then the whole time while you're waiting, because it would be 3 guys at a time, and you're usually with your position group. The whole time while you're waiting, you're sitting in a freaking half squat, chopping your feet or whatever you're having to do, and then they blow the horn at 15 minutes. You go to the other gym, and it's probably, you're doing sprints, suicides the whole time. And then you go to another gym, and you're jumping over the damn hurdles back and forth for 15 minutes. And then you're going to be gassed, and they're going to, I know we had to do like push-ups all together as a team or freaking planks. And then you single you out, and you got to do a tug of war or something with somebody. And then you're finally done after you have 45 minutes or an hour. But I will say this, nothing better than going to get breakfast at McCallie or the KU's or the Jub after those with the boys.
Two things. Both, in my opinion, are pretty funny. I remember one year mat drills, I was older, veteran. I thought I was ready for them, and I did the mat portion, and I was like, oh, I killed it. Fine, mats weren't even hard this year because in my mind, when you finished that station, they were done for the day. Then here's Buster Faulkner, now OC at Georgia Tech. He decides we're going to do suicides, and that killed me. I remember this day. I mean, I remember getting I got lightheaded, got goosebumps, juice bumps, chills. It was terrible. Secondly, do y'all remember, Sprouse, this is our senior year. I had to do a tug of war outside, and Buster Faulkner again.
Gosh.
I won, and Buster Faulkner, Jeff, shoves me in the back, fired up. He's like, that a boy, Grish, beep, 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 and shoves me. I was huge, but yet very
movable, very movable.
He shoved me, and I went face first right into the one and only granddaddy of them all, Rick Stockstill.
Yes,
busted him right in the side of the face, and he was swollen
Yes.
by in 10 minutes. Luckily, spring break was the next day, so I didn't see him for another 10. But I'll never forget, I put physical harm on our coach, and Buster was he wanted me to take the rap for it, but that's another story. But it was funny.
Yeah, and then one other thing on it is, like you said, if somebody missed class or something like that, because we normally I think we did it Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 3 weeks, I think is what it was. And then if somebody missed class, they'd make you come in on one of the off days and do another one. And it always happened.
I really think I think that's what Mad Drills are for. It's for trying to, teaching, responsibility and putting a more, level head person so they go to class. They do the right things. If you don't go to class, you're punished, and hopefully that sticks with you throughout the whole year.
Well, let's just call it like it is too. I mean, mat drills are also it's just like a brisket, Grisham. What do you got to do when you get that brisket? It's the start of it. Got to trim that fat. There's a few people that just aren't going to cut it. They're not going to make it. And you don't want to waste time on those people. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the time. They can't get there on time, or every mat drill they seem to pull their hamstring, and now they're on the bike for the next couple of them.
Those were the absolute worst. And the same guys every spring.
Every year.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Every year. And if you're listening right now, I do love you, but you were one of those guys. That's all I'm going to say.
If we ever make it big time, you people are not getting hired ever by the Group of Five guys.
And then we had Josh Walker on here, last year, and he wants to come back on again, by the way. Talked to him today. He said that mat drills was the only time he ever considered actually hanging up football. Thank God he didn't, because he went to go play NFL for 7 years. But that's what it did to you. It was very much mental. And I said the first week was always the worst, because by second and third week, you felt your body just adjusting to it a little more. The hardest part was just getting up. That was the hardest part of it. But that first week,
start embracing it a little bit. I'll tell you that it builds character. And I was sitting here when we were talking off air. I did a little weekend backyard project, and I'm dying. I'm still dying.
I think if they follow you on social media, I promise you they know you had a backyard project.
Well, yeah, well, okay.
It looks great.
I'm
it looks
so
great.
Sorry. We know what you do too on social media with your damn Jackson Mahomes dancing videos.
I did do that. That's right.
I can't believe you got the nerve to say something. I post 3 pictures of a project that took me.
You were posting the same picture every 2 hours.
Well, that's
and then you posted the picture on Instagram. And honestly, yes, it's very well done, and I'm sure your child appreciates it. I'm just saying, if they were following you,
they saw.
I'm sure they know
picture,
that you had a project.
They saw a picture.
Wait, is this coming from the #1 social media expert of all time?
I can't believe
is that where this is coming from?
I have the
check the ratio. Check my ratio.
Now hold on. I just want to clarify. I posted a picture of the blank slate dirt, and then a picture with the tarp covered, sprayed for weeds, and then the finished product. 3 pictures. 3 separate different pictures, but
did you leave that tarp underneath it, and then that's where you put the soil on top to keep the weeds out?
That's what you do.
That's right. I've done that several times. I just never posted pictures of it on social media. I just didn't know if you did that correct or not.
Trust me, I did it correct. Sorry, I won't post on social media so you guys don't know what I'm doing on weekends. You guys enjoy Taffer's Tavern or?
I posted
a beer at Taffer's Tavern.
I posted one picture of a glass of a golly, my brain is just been working. Well, an old fashioned.
Chardonnay.
Good Chardonnay.
Oh, Sharon, old fashioned. But yeah, I had an old fashioned. Sprouse, whenever you decide to come up here and visit, I will take you to Taffer's.
No, I tried
fantastic.
to go to. I tried to tell you about Taffer's Tavern for like 3 years, and you shut me down every time. And then you went finally, and you were like, Sprouse, I found a new bar that you would love. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I've been telling you about it for 3 years, but screw me, right?
It's great.
Well, Sprouse,
your backyard looks fantastic, Sprouse.
Anyway, yeah. So my point of that was I'm worn the hell out. It reminded me of Matt drills. So my apologies for bringing that up.
Well, Sprouse, one last thing before we get off of Matros. Look, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I can't speak for everyone on here. I would love if anybody wants us to come to their Matros.
Yeah, 100%.
We will travel and come to a Matro.
Don't give people false promises.
I'm saying if they invite us, I will be there. I will. If you invite me to your Matros,
I need to experience.
I will be there. I agree. I think Tip does, and I'd be nothing better than to see old Jesse Grisham,
barrel-chested freedom fighters over here thinking they can do a mat drill.
You've been working out.
You're the best shape out of all of us.
I love running. I'm enjoying. Y'all know damn well. And everybody listening right here is shaking their head, yes. Nodding their head, yes. There's a difference between running on a 5.1 miles per hour treadmill and then going through mat drills and coaches screaming and throwing things at me. And now I'm throwing up. There's pictures of me on social media. I'm trending. We're done.
That's great content. If you ask me.
It would be good stuff. Do you have an atrocious award for us? Was it me? I posted
probably your backyard.
Yeah, my fault. I deeply apologize for doing that to you. Sorry, I upset you this weekend.
You didn't upset. I love you. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I do have an atrocious award, but I think it's going to really ruffle your feathers the most, probably.
Oh, I hope it does, because now I'm on one. I just want to let everybody know we got on here 30 minutes before we started. But Grisham, somehow that microphone hasn't moved in 2.5 years, and somehow he still can't figure out his damn sound.
That's a new computer, Matt.
Go ahead with your atrocious word, Jeff.
Did y'all watch that? All right, here. What's an atrocious?
It's atrocious. It's atrocious.
Not exactly an atrocious award, but I do want to talk about something. Did y'all watch the XFL debut this past weekend? Did y'all try to watch it? Did y'all have any urge to watch it?
I had urges, but I was busy with basketball games all weekend.
Understood. I tried. It's still the XFL, but there's just one guy. Like I need Dwayne Johnson to take a break. Go sit down. Stop. He is trying to be in the limelight. I love The Rock. I love Fast and the Furious. I loved a lot of his movies, but the guy's doing 3 or 4 movies a day. He's posting about it on Instagram. 3 or 4 movies a year. He's posting about it all over Instagram, social media. We get it, dude. You are a superstar. I wish I had your body. Never will. He has his own tequila company. He is killing it. But I, for one, finally, 2023, took 20 years. I am so sick and tired of seeing him. How many videos does he have to post about the XFL and him making about himself, showing him selfies and stuff and posting these motivational speeches? Jeff, I get it. I probably sound like a hater right now. But Dwayne, take a break, dude. Just sit down. We know who you are. We know how powerful you are. And I get it. You're the 54th man. You're the 54th man. We get it. Great story. But I've heard it 15 times on different social media pages about Dwayne Johnson. So Dwayne, in my eyes, being the fat piece of crap I am, I'm giving you the atrocious award because I just want you to sit down and just let people live their lives.
It's atrocious. It's atrocious.
You thought that was going to ruffle my feathers?
Well, I know how you love The Rock. I know we're all wrestling fans here.
No,
I feel like he's just doing too much lately.
He's
I'm dude, you're the owner of it. Just sit back and let it. You don't need to be on the 50-yard line for every game.
I don't. I'm going to say something. This could be controversial here. The Rock is obviously maybe America's most famous guy. I mean, all around, the guy's done it all. He played football even at a high level. I mean, he played at Miami, and then he played or almost played in the NFL. But it seems like a guy that's still trying to be rubbing shoulders with guys. I don't know. It's just right.
I love the way you feel. It's exactly how I feel.
And now you probably could say that about us. but,
Probably, but yeah, he's like, he's still trying to prove something. It's like, dude,
yeah,
you're
like wearing
Dwayne
the
Johnson
jersey
right now.
out there, and I mean,
I thought last year was a little ridiculous that he did like
The
the
Super Bowl.
It's
Yeah, I'm
time or
with
whatever.
you.
Are you, like, I'm like,
Oh no,
Dwayne.
that was tight. You're all tripping.
no, that was
You like-
cringy, dude. He's cringy.
I knew one of you were going to be like, oh, come on now, it's Dwayne.
No, just I mean, I don't know.
I like The Rock as an actor now. Like
Yeah, he's
I
doing
like when he
so
does
many movies.
comedies.
Half his
like,
movies
a
are.
lot.
I like his Kevin Hart when he's with Kevin Hart. Those movies I think are pretty funny. The Jumanji movies are
I
funny.
love Jumanji, but
Yeah.
y'all, do you like if you Google Dwayne Johnson right now? Look, even my watch said like screw Dwayne. If you Google Dwayne Johnson, there's like 10 movies that have came out in the past like 10 years. You're like, oh god, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. Just my opinion. Swag Bear, no,
I'm with you.
usually what I say is total crap anyway, but I'm just sick of seeing Dwayne on every TV channel all day, every day.
Y'all think the XFL makes
No.
it? Yeah.
I don't think so.
I do.
Hell,
I do only on this one sense is because their business model is different than the last time, and essentially what they're trying to do is be the better version of the USL or what is it? USFL.
Yeah.
USFL. I was about to ask that
They're-
question.
They're trying. They're
playing
trying to
soon,
basically be the feeder of guys that maybe have gotten overlooked. Like they're not trying to pull top talent away from the NFL. From everything that I've read, they're trying to be like essentially a farm system and an intermediary for the guys that maybe didn't get drafted or got drafted and got hurt. So I see a market for it now. Whether they can do it successfully or not is up to them. But they definitely got the financial backing. So.
Not trying to debate at all because I agree with what you're saying. But that's what the USFL is doing. The only difference that I see from the XFL is I see a bunch of, I hate to say has-beens, but they are. The guys that were in the league for 10 years as backup quarterbacks are now starting in the XFL. They're not going back to the NFL. Now, maybe that's a starting point for XFL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just to give these guys an additional platform. I think the pay structure is different than the USFL.
I would like to know
which is
what's
gonna-
more.
I think the
They
XFL
got to be making
is-
more in the XFL.
As far
You think
as
so?
as far
Well-
as I understand it, I couldn't
What,
tell you exactly what the minimum is, but I was reading it the other day, and it seemed like it just made more sense.
Well, I think the big difference too is the XFL got the ESPN
Yeah,
TV deal, so that's going to be a ton of money. And they've got, I think they had what's his name, Acho's brother, announcing the game, and I mean
Is
I
the
think-
USFL on right now too? Or is that later date?
Tip, what'd you say? They just did the draft for
They
the
did-
USFL.
yeah, they just did the draft. So I'm pretty sure they play in the springs as well. So I'm assuming their season probably is coming up.
I got another question. Sprouse, Jeff, it's for y'all too. If the XFL, if Dwayne Johnson had the XFL right now in 2012 and you had USFL and you had an opportunity to keep playing, would you try? I mean, I'm not saying y'all couldn't play in the NFL, but more likely not. We're not in there. So, but if you could have gone to the USFL or XFL, do you think is that like something you would try to do?
Yeah.
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 If I was good enough,
So it's
I
like
mean,
so.
I would, especially if the pay was decent. Like you play, like the season's only a couple months.
Well,
like,
I'm saying this is good for our college football players now.
Yeah.
You know, the guys that are getting overlooked for NFL. I mean, this is great for them. And I'm happy for the XFL and USFL. So full circle, XFL. I hope it is successful. USFL. Hope it keeps going. Hope guys can keep playing football. I just want Dwayne Johnson to sit down.
here's a question for you. Okay, we know there's a lot of guys that go through their college career thinking they're going to make it to the NFL. And several years later, they're still thinking that's going to happen.
You talking about
Now-
guys that potentially like 32 years old coming
Potentially. Hypothetical guy.
from?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Understood.
Yeah. So if this hypothetical avatar that we've just created here were to get passed up by the NFL and then get passed up by the XFL and then get passed up by the USFL, would this now incentivize this hypothetical gentleman to hang it up?
Yes.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
I would say yes, and stop making videos of doing back pedals. It's not helping anything. Just go on with your life. The guys that are still trying to, after being 30 years old, and I'm going to sound like a hater here, but I'm not the guy putting out backpedaling videos. If you are the guy trying to, after 30 years old and you're not in the league, it's time to move on. It's time to move on and just turn the page. I know football's hard to give up. I remember squalling like a baby after my last game. I remember, but I knew that phase of my life was over. It's time to turn the page.
Would you? Now here's the deal. What if the NFL? What if they had a big strike like the replacements? Jesse Grisham today gets a phone call. I'm playing, dude. I am
for sure. I got one. I still got my Don Joys in this closet right here. I got them right there. I'll put them on. I'll be the guy on the price who's eating those boiled eggs right before blowing chunks. Hell, I threw up 3 times in my in my career at MTSU. Might as well keep it going.
For sure. With Tippy the kicker smoking cigarettes hanging out of his face.
Can we not forget this time last year?
That's a great movie, by the way.
Tipton drilled like a 45-yard field goal.
Sign him up.
You're looking at Jeff Murphy, Shane Falco right here. Right here, man. Jeff, we got some voicemails. We're getting way off here.
Yeah, we are going off the rails. But yeah, we got a couple voicemails this week. As always, call us. We want to hear your hottest take. A lot of transfer portal stuff going on. Keep us up to date on your school. Hell, if you just want to say what's up, give us a call at 615-900-4286 and let us know what's going on in your world. So we'll get right to it. We got 2 call voicemails this week and 2 regular callers, and they're just checking in. Our first is Terry Johnson.
Group of 5 guys, how y'all doing? It's Terry Johnson, T-Money, calling in, checking after the Super Bowl. Man, other than that last call, an exciting Super Bowl, man. It was great to see just, I know it's a college football podcast, but it was great to see, just fun football. And, halftime show wasn't that bad. Love seeing Riri out there. But it was great seeing, the group of 5 players showing out. Got Scott Moore scoring a touchdown. You had Jared McKinnon from Georgia Southern, even though they were FCS at the time we played, but still got just really, really fun football. The Kelsey brothers, I can go on and on. Just really, really good football being played at a high level. And, just want to get y'all thoughts on the game and what y'all thought about it, and hope everything's all good. And last but not least, Sprouts buddy, really enjoy your video about the whole haircut thing and canceling. Maybe you get fined, but I just gotta tell you, bro, you gotta get rid of it. You just gotta let it go, like Frozen. Let it go. Let go of that hair you got holding on by a thread at the top of your head, buddy, because you're not doing it for you, man. You're just not doing it for you. I love you, dog. You're awesome. I never met you face to face, but I got love for y'all, man. Group of 5 guys, but take it from somebody that cares about you and love you. Just let it go, man. Let it go.
Terry, that's the best.
Oh, yeah, that Caroline can't be salvaged, buddy.
Take your hat off.
Yeah, we all. I'm pretty sure most of us are married with kids. I know you got a kid. I think you got 2. But hey, when you're a father, you just gotta lob it all off, man. It's okay. I don't know many white guys that can pull up a bald head other than Bruce Willis, but maybe you can be the next one. Anyway, man, God bless Group of 5. God bless Group of 5 guys. Go Cajuns.
Terry, first of all, Louisiana hot sauce is hot garbage. Texas Pete all the damn way. How dare you?
And I can't.
No, I'm with you. I watched
at
it. I'm doing the video, and
I was just saying, Grisham, like, don't you be laughing over there?
No. I'm just laughing because
I was wondering where he was going to go with that.
No, I mean, Sprouse actually has like twice as much hair as I do. Maybe Terry just already considers me bald, so he's just like, I've already accepted it.
Well, you know what it is? It's because when they cut it, my part is like right there, and it's bad. I mean, it's bad, dude. When I do that video, I'm like, boy, this is tough. But you know what? I mean,
what did y'all think about the Super Bowl?
I thought it was a good game.
Yeah, man.
I thought it was fantastic, man. I thought Jalen Hurts played his tail off.
Yeah, he did. Holding call. What y'all think of that?
I think you got to let him play. Now, I'm not against, I'm not for just not calling anything, but that was so early on in the route, and then he got pressure, and he was literally just trying to, it was like, I'm going to throw it pretty much up to where either my guy can get it or I'm really kind of just throwing it away. I just think it was so early in that route, and in that situation, you've been calling it very loose the whole game, and that one just seemed to be very, very tight. So I don't like that, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, you can't call anything, dude. If the guy tackles him, yeah, you gotta call it. But I don't know. I hate for it to end that way.
If that play, if that call is never made, and somehow, some way, the Eagles the next play scoop and score or something, that play is looked at forever as why they should have made that call. My second thing is, and Jeff, you were a coach. I have a feeling, because I really appreciated watching the Chiefs offense. They were they were good. They called that play, in my opinion, knowing that this corner potentially would struggle and probably have to grab. I think the NFL coaches are so smart. They're thinking, okay, even if he's not open, they're probably going to grab him. So that, in my opinion, that play was called just so either score or it's going to cause a holding penalty and get an automatic first down.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that just based off the route combination and you knew they pretty much, the Eagles didn't make a lot of adjustments defensively. They kind of said, this is what we've been working with. This has worked because we've been able to get pressure up front. And how about the damn Chiefs O-line? No sacks.
0
sacks. Up
sacks.
against that defensive front. I mean, that's a shout out to the guys right there. But yeah, I mean, you knew they were in man coverage. You're going to run a little try and pick route with a wheel up to the front pylon, and a lot of times that's what happens. He tries to get a little handsy right off the line. He gets a little bit of a hold. I don't know.
What was the situation on that? It was third down. How much time was left when that happened?
It's like 2 minutes, I think.
So what I don't understand though is the people that are acting like that, like decided the game. I mean, they were already in field goal range, right?
Yeah.
So you're assuming Jalen Hurts is going to he's still going to go on a 2-minute drive and score. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of assumptions being made.
In my opinion, when I realized, okay, the Chiefs are going to win this game is when that kick return for 50 yards went all the way to the red zone. I was like, oh, okay, all right, Chiefs going to take this one. But I thought it was a fantastic game. I enjoyed watching it. Commercials were okay. I knew Rihanna was pregnant, and it was all in all, decent outing.
It was good. It's just a good. There was nothing crazy that really happened. It was just a good, solid game.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it was. I don't want to say it was boring, but it was just I don't know.
I do want to know how Jalen Hurts, who's a guy that can bench press 500 pounds, what happened on that last throw where he threw it 10 yards?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
I'm thinking,
I was like, come on, man. Well, but anyway, I enjoyed the game. It was fun.
Go to the next call. And by the way, ban Terry from ever calling this show again.
Man, trust me, as a guy
who's
3 times, as a guy
suspended.
who's 3 times bolder than you, every time people make comment on it, I don't show it my face, but it kills me inside every time.
Look, that's where you just got to own it, and you got to take the top off and let the sides grow and grow that skullet. The Benjamin Franklin.
100.
Just do it big time. Be a sav.
100%.
Be a sav. I'm just telling you. But all right, let's get to our next one. Our boy Steeple PC. Hadn't heard from him in a little while.
Hey, Group 5 guys. How's it going? This is Steeple_PC_51.
I missed that.
Hey, I hope that y'all had a great holiday and get a chance to say wish y'all Happy New Year's. I know I'm kind of late. My Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl, but glad they got there and represented, and they did put up 35 points. It wasn't for the defense not getting a stop, and that specialty team was very crucial. But had a great Super Bowl party. I had so much flight, and Michelob Ultras that I was cheering for the other team. Not sure. But just want to give you an update. Coastal getting their work in. Their spring game is going to be April the 8th. I will be there. Nice Saturday. Excited to see this new pro passing offense. Of course, McCall is slinging the ball everywhere. And Lil Sam, Pink Me is catching everything. So hope that continues. Anyway, you guys have a good one. And once again, great forum. We'll be chatting up, guys, a whole lot this season. See you guys in Conway.
I gotta know. Okay, I need him to. Does he? I love the guy. My favorite caller. I feel like he says that, and then he looks at his phone.
He's probably checking the time.
Maybe that's what
Make
he's
sure
doing.
he doesn't get cut off.
Yeah.
I love the suspense every time. I got two things here, by the way. First off, Sprouse, no one's said anything unless it was before the show started. The hat's badass. It says it's like light blue, Spain Park Jaguar blue, Bombay. I think it's pretty cool. So I'll give you that today. I like that hat a lot. If you're selling it, I might have one. Two, going back to the Super Bowl, is it not crazy when you look at NFL players? Like, I am the furthest thing from an NFL player. How Jordan Davis from Georgia was killing every college team at Georgia at nose guard. And when he goes out there in the NFL games, how he just looks average. If y'all noticed that, y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I remember the video when he first got there. I think didn't he take Jason Kelsey for a ride in like his first practice? And everybody was like, "Oh my god, this kid's." But
well,
no, I'm with you.
Okay, I'm not saying the guy's not a special talent. He is, but when I watch him in the games and stuff, he's just not like the Eagles' D line. Even though they lost, you had Ndamukong Suh. It was like their third D tackle. And y'all, this is I saw full circle. Y'all talking about how they gave up 0 sacks. That's just amazing to me. How they were able to hold off these behemoth of men and just do what they wanted with them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's crediting to the coaching and just knowing what they like to do and taking that away by running right at them. They throw a lot of screens, and Mahomes does a good job of recognizing pressures and changing the play, getting rid of it.
Is he the best right now, Jeff? Is he the best in the NFL?
I mean, it's hard to say he's not.
Yeah.
I think it's like what 4. Has he been in 4 out of the last 5 AFC Championship games? Something like I don't know. There's a bunch of stats going on.
It's only his 5th year, right?
He's won 2 Super Bowls, been to 3.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's wild.
I don't know. He might just be another systems quarterback. I mean, you never know. I mean, would he have this success with the Carolina Panthers? I mean,
coaching definitely makes a big difference. But kind of back to
he's incredible, very special talent.
Yeah. Well, back to Steeple's voicemail real quick. I can't wait to get to Conway. I don't know about you boys, but open up with UCLA in Pasadena this year. But then the rest of their
moved to LA. Go to UCLA.
The rest of their non-conference, I mean, they might start 0-1, but I think they'll be 3-1 before they hit the Sun Belt.
And she got a bye.
I mean, UCLA, they're not world beaters.
No.
UCLA is going to Conway?
No. They're going Coastal's going to Pasadena.
Oh, don't
but the next 3 they got Jackson State, Duquesne, and Army.
You literally couldn't go to a further destination unless you went to Hawaii.
Yeah,
gotta get that money.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a tough one. I just tweeted at Terry. That son of a bitch.
It's eating at you. It's eating at
now
you.
Now I'm like, is my hat okay? You're like,
I hope you. I'm gonna do a GIF on your thread of. I don't know if you've seen the movie Kingpin. But Bill Murray's got the bowling ball and his hair is like sticking straight up.
I was on a work trip this past week, and I had a Facebook memory, and I was with like 4 people that knew me, and they knew me as the guy that has hair like this. And I had a memory from like our 2012 banquet where I had my golden locks all the way to my shoulder. When I showed them that, they were blown away. It's just amazing what has happened to me.
I thought your work trip was like 2 weeks ago.
It happened 2 weeks ago.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it.
I was.
Oh, well, now we're going to do it. He's going to make an excuse.
What's going on here?
Let's go ahead and just lay it on the table.
Jesse told us that he could not attend the Senior Bowl in Mobile because he had a work trip in Florida. And then we went to the Senior Bowl, and 2.5 weeks later, he's on a work trip in Florida. At the same time, I'm also on a work trip out of town. So I was just a little bit.
I thought I told you that it got moved. But you already got tickets to the Senior Bowl, so why would I even ask about it? Plus, I got sick. So
no. I'm not buying it.
It got moved.
You did not tell us that it got moved. You said, I'm going to try to go.
I obviously was not there. I mean, I was not. I told you I was sick. I was in Birmingham. I was actually in Birmingham, Alabama, the Weekend Yard Senior Bowl. I'm not gonna lie about that. My parent. If y'all want to get real involved, my parents they sold their house and they were moving, so I went there to help them move.
Good for them. Are they retired?
But then they're moving back to Mississippi, so the house I grew up in just got taken away from me in the blink of an eye. But I also got really sick too. But you didn't have tickets for me anyway, so I don't understand what the problem is because
it's just no problem.
It was supposed to happen that weekend, but it got moved to this past week.
Okay.
You can call me if you want. We can discuss it even more. I don't know how else to really tell you. I have no reason to lie to you. I don't know.
No.
You think I just didn't want to go see the Senior Bowl?
No, I didn't say that. All I would think is that it was too many trips.
It was inconvenient for me, and I said no, I can't do it.
You're saying the words. I'm not saying anything.
I had a trip. I got another trip in 2 weeks, but I might get moved out.
Sprouse, I just want to say I think your hat is terrible at this point, at this juncture.
No, well, I mean the listeners should know I've been getting a lot of. I'm in the crosshairs for Group of Five guys for the past 6 months, and I feel it. I think our viewers feel it at home as well. I'm in the crosshairs here. I'm days away from probably being eliminated from this group.
No, my goodness.
Jeez, here we go.
Okay, let's get to the next segment, please.
Well, I was going to say, and we should have talked about this after Terry's voicemail, but I was so distracted with the comment that he multiple comments too. He said one little comment, and then he just kept on going with it. I mean, that's some.
He did. He didn't let it go.
Well, I will say, Terry's my boy, and he feels the same thing I'm feeling. He's probably saying, Sprouse, take a seat, Dwayne. Take a seat.
But back to his voicemail, though. Did you see, this is sort of on the same topic, where Arian Foster said that the NFL is scripted?
Did see that.
I got to hear the thoughts on that.
Well, I think, Tip, maybe you know this more than I do. Didn't it come out that he said he was just joking about that? Or did he not? Was there not like a correction? Because people ran with that story, like legitimate news organizations like ran with it.
Legitimate news, come on.
I feel like I heard him come back and was like, it was like a social experiment. I could be wrong about that.
Well, he's always been kind of a like, I don't want to say a weird guy. He's got a little Kyrie Irving to him.
Like, seriously entertaining this?
Huh?
Are we seriously entertaining this that the NFL is scripted?
It's a legitimate question.
I'm just saying. Well, here's the deal.
If you lost a lot of money, I'd understand. Like, it's bull crap. Look, dude. Look, the Raiders did not have a good year this year. Is that what you think?
Nothing to do with the Raiders. We've been terrible for the last 2 decades.
The guy, dude. Arian Foster went on a radio show and like literally told him that they
He's trying to stay relevant.
Probably. I don't think it's.
There's no way
scripted. It can't be. Yeah, you can't script.
I mean, it's not the WWE.
These guys are making 50, 60-yard field goals. I mean, you can't script that. Now, that being said, I do think that a ref can influence a game.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that.
In one way or another. So, scripted, no. But maybe a little Montreal screw job here and there. Maybe.
Good reference. I like that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's scripted, But there are some questionable calls at certain times in certain games that, like we referenced a couple weeks back with the TV ratings, might be a blowout.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right.
So we're gonna, make this happen. But I don't know.
Do we have more voicemails?
No, that's it. It was just those two.
I got a question then. Jeff, this is for you.
Yeah.
The Montreal screw job.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a real screw job, or did
Yes.
Bret Hart actually know that he was losing the title?
He did not know. So, for those who don't know this wrestling story, Bret Hart was leaving WWF to go to WCW, and he was the champion. And he, from Montreal, refused to drop the title in Montreal. He wanted to drop it the next night. And Vince was worried about him basically taking the title, not showing up the next night to drop it, and he would be the champion and have that belt, and go to WCW. So he got with Shawn Michaels, and they basically said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to end the match early. You're going to put Bret in his finishing submission, and we're going to ring the bell early and take the belt from him to make sure he cannot leave.
Interesting.
Do we have time here, guys?
We got a couple minutes.
Yeah, so I was watching a documentary they had on NWO, was on TV over the weekend, and there was a lot of Eric Bischoff was on there, who was the WCW founder or whatever,
like the GM.
chairman. Yeah, well, and even like today, he was doing interviews and making it seem like some of the things that happened were, not part of the script. And it, like Jesse said, like some of it, it's like, I know that stuff is fake. I know it's scripted. I know, they know the outcomes. But then there's still things that happen that you're like, was that part of it? Like the CM Punk thing.
Yeah.
The CM Punk pipe bomb or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, when WCW and WWF would invade each other's show, and like, it was like, how they doing this if they're supposedly two competing companies competing for airtime on either, because they were both Monday night, right? Monday Night Raw and Monday Night Nitro.
Yeah. That might have been the best wrestling of all time. When that was
for
going
sure. And then they were talking about how Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, they didn't know that Hogan was going to flip until they were until he came out for the very first time as
they didn't know who the third.
They thought it was going to be Sting, because Sting was like a baby face at that time too. I find that hard to believe.
So everything that I've read and watched documentary wise is WCW was so dysfunctional, and they had multiple writers basically that were kind of at odds with each other. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that a lot of guys thought this was going to go one way and it went the other. Whereas in WWF forever, you just basically had Vince.
For our fans out there, I'll just say, if I had any wrestling question or history question about wrestling, I would go to Jeff and Art. That's why I asked that question, because when I watched the Montreal Screwjob, I know it's about, but when I see him spit on the face of Vince McMahon, I feel like Vince knew that was. I thought Vince knew that was coming. I'm like, okay, so this is all kind of. But I mean, I don't know. So I'm glad you clarified that.
How'd you feel if you're in your hometown and they basically they robbed him of they took the title off of him? All his family was there, his friends were there,
But okay, but hold on though.
It's more than that,
But
Sprouse.
he knows.
It's
he
more
knows
than
it's
that.
a fake. It's not like he
Not
got
fake.
in there and knocked somebody out in a
Well,
boxing
and
match.
then Sprouse, going back to that, what you're saying here, Jeff. If I am Bret Hart and I get, they qualify Shawn Michaels as the winner for tap out, and I didn't tap out. I'm surprised he didn't just deck Shawn Michaels in the face or something.
They didn't talk for a year. He did. He punched Shawn Michaels in the back.
Oh shoot!
In the locker room.
Well, forget it.
Yeah.
Well, I saw another video about it where apparently he was. I think he had an inkling that Vince was going to try to do something, and he went to Shawn Michaels and said, "Hey, if this was the other way around, I would never take the belt from you." And Shawn Michaels he goes, "I can't say the same." That's what Shawn told him, straight up before. He's like, "I can't say the same." So,
Well, at least he didn't lie to them.
he didn't lie to him. I love Shawn Michaels.
Me too.
Anyway, that's our WWE portion of it.
Yeah, new segment we started. Hey, before we go, it's tax season. If you guys are in the Middle Tennessee area, y'all check out Birch Tax Services. Austin Birch, good friend of ours, helps us out quite a bit. So if you are Nashville, Murfreesboro, Franklin, Birch Tax Services, get your refund or pay, whatever you got to do. That's all we got for you guys tonight. If you do like the show, make sure you give us a 5-star review on wherever you get your podcast. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, share, retweet, follow us at Group of Five Guys. Any clicks, any comments, that helps push our goal of bringing more recognition to the Group of Five programs. That's all we got for you. We're out of here.